Okay, welcome to another episode of PhotoshopLightroomTV. I'm your host, Marek Mularczyk from SAItraining.co.uk, and this is the last episode this year. This is episode 98. After this episode, we're going to have a short Christmas break, so we'll be back in January with the episode 99 and 100. It's winter time, so welcome to the wintry episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. It's cold in Britain. It was minus 11 degrees last week. It's really cold. Now, let's start with Photoshop. I'm going to share with you a tutorial on creating patterns and then applying them or using them in your designs. Because, you know, Photoshop only comes with, I think there are 4 patterns now. There used to be 2. So you can define your own patterns. And they're actually quite easy to define. You can define a pattern from anything. Save it and then use it. And that's what this tutorial is going to be about. So I have this image here opened. I'm just going to zoom in a bit, so I'm on 100% view. You need to create a selection. So I'm going to use the rectangular marquee tool. I'll draw out the selection. I'm going to create a square pattern, so I'll be holding the shift key down as I'm creating a selection. Remember that at the same time as you're holding the shift key down, without releasing the mouse button, you can press and hold the space bar to move your selection around. Okay, so you could have a pattern maybe with this USB logo. Yeah, so I'm going to set it somewhere here, make it a bit smaller, maybe about 50 pixels square. Okay, once you've got it selected, go to Edit menu and down to Define Pattern. You can also define your brush preset. Give it a name. I'm going to call this one Carpet, because it is an image of the carpet, I think. And I'll click OK. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've got this image open here. I'm going to apply this pattern. What you could do was to create a new layer and then fill it with the pattern using Edit, Fill, choose a pattern, and we get the pattern we just created here, and click OK. And we can use the blend mode, so we'll probably use overlay or soft light. Soft light looks good. Lower the opacity to blend it. It looks not too bad, but it's actually a better way. I'm just going to delete this layer, and this layer needs to be unlocked first of all. So I've already unlocked it. I'm going to double click on the empty area inside the layer to add layer styles or layer effects, as they often called as well. And this time I'm going to use pattern overlay as a layer style. Now you may be thinking, okay, it looks the same as edit fill. Well, hold on. I'm just going to apply the pattern, apply the blend mode. So far the same, so far so good. Soft light. I'll lower the opacity, but you know what, because it's a pattern, you can change it whenever you want. So click OK. I can edit the pattern overlay and change the pattern, but you can also scale it. You can scale it up and down. Great feature. And it's blending nicely. Or click OK, and you can change it at any time. And it's just an example of how you can use patterns and pattern overlays on images. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial in Photoshop. I've got another one, really exciting tutorial for you, but that's in just a moment. I hope you watched the Create Live event, Create Now event with Adobe this Tuesday, to find out what's new coming in Photoshop CS6 for Creative Cloud subscribers. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, stick for some details, have a look on the web. I'll be posting some information on my blog as well, PhotoshopLightroomTV.co.uk. Now, this tutorial is going to be slightly different. I've got a tutorial for you on Photoshop Touch. Now, Photoshop Touch is an amazing application from Adobe for iOS and Android tablets. And I'm going to show you something fantastic. I was talking to a friend recently, and he was asking me about taking photographs of his paintings and colorizing them. So I thought, why not use Photoshop Touch for that? Because it's perfect for that. It's so much faster and easier to use. So let me show you that. Okay, so here I am inside Adobe Photoshop Touch. I'm going to show you a technique here. So at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to click on the new image. Okay, there's a couple of options here on the left hand side. In this case, I'm going to use the camera, and I'm just going to capture an image with the built-in webcam inside my tablet. Okay, here's the image back. I'm going to click Save. It's going to take out my stylus that comes with the tablet. Here we go. And just a couple of things we can do in here in Photoshop Touch actually. So first I'm going to create a new layer. So I'll click on the plus here. A new empty layer. Okay. And now on this I'll click Done. And now I'm just going to rotate it a bit. It's a bit easier to see here. I'm going to do some painting. So here's the toolbar. So click on it to reveal all the tools here on the side. I'm going to click on the brush. I can set the brush color. So I'm going to leave it as red for now. That's okay. For the brush size, okay, we've got a couple of options here. We've got a flow and opacity and size, so I'll make it quite small. That's good. And if I just zoom in on the image, okay, I can start painting here. Now what's great about the brush here is I can easily paint with the stylus really quickly in here, and I can always lower the opacity if I want to. Yeah, if you remember here in the brush settings we had opacity, so we actually paint with a semi-transparent brush and then do painting here with a semi-transparent brush. Then I can change the color. Here, the color picker comes up, so I'll just pick up maybe green, and I'll start painting in green. It's all on a separate layer, so it can easily be deleted, removed, hidden. So I've got two layers here. There you go. There's the background layer. There's the top layer. With the top layer, I can click on it here to hide it, and then show it again. And this is just a few examples of what can be done with Photoshop Touch. I'm going to explore Photoshop Touch more in the future videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed these two tutorials, one in Photoshop and one in Photoshop Touch. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, Photoshop Touch is great, and it's only £6.99, £6.99 or $9.99 in dollars in the US, and it works on Android and iOS tablets. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Actually, no, I'll have a tip of the week for you as well, just before we finish. This is something that seems to be obvious. However, I know so many people who don't do it. This is a photography tip. Whenever you're done with your photographs, when you're back, you download all the images on your computer, you back them up. What seems to be obvious, but what so many people don't do, is to format your memory card. Instead of erasing images one by one, format it. And it's not just about deleting a number of images really quickly, but it's also about cleaning the card, keeping the card healthy. So if you keep on formatting cards from time to time, it will work longer. It will just make it work better. Okay? So what I do is, whenever I come back from a bigger photo shoot, like when I'm back from holidays or when I'm doing some shooting on the weekend, once I've downloaded the images, backed them up on a external hard drive, I erase or format memory card. This was Tip of the Week. I'm Marek Mularczyk from SAItraining.co.uk. Thank you for watching. This was episode 98 of Photoshop Lightroom TV. Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year, and I will see you in January 2013. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy. Bye bye.